Welcome to the 90 Day Foundation. I have put this programme together because when I first started the gym, I didn't know what to do. In fact, I never went to the gym for 6 months because I was too scared, because I never knew how any machines worked, I never knew what muscle was what, and I had no sense of direction, so that filled me with massive gym anxiety and I just refused to go. So I thought, now that I've been training for 4 years and completely transformed my body, heading towards my first bodybuilding show, ran a few half marathons and been in very good condition, I thought, why not share my knowledge and give what I wish I had to you guys so that you understand what you should be doing in the gym. And this is a 4-day programme and it is aimed towards people who maybe haven't started the gym or have only been in the gym for a short period of time. But I promise you, if you stick to this programme, you will see results within the first 3 months. And that is the very first thing I want to make sure you understand. And this is going to take time. But enough of me talking, I'm going to show you through in a 4-day programme. I'm going to show you every single exercise that you should be doing, how to do it, and make sure you're getting the most out of your training. Let's get in about it. Starting off our week strong, we are going to be training our legs. And this leg day will take you no longer than 1 hour. It's only 6 exercises, so let's get in about it. The first exercise we're going to be doing is calf extensions. When you're doing this exercise, I want you to think about bringing your toes as close to your shins as possible, and then extend your toes as far away from your body as possible as well. I want you to pay attention to the tempo as well. So on the eccentric, the part where I'm bringing my toes back towards my shins, I'm going slightly slower. So I'm trying to go for 2 to 3 seconds, slight pause, push off. The push off is called the concentric, and that's going to last for 1 to 2 seconds, a slight pause, and then return back to the eccentric and repeat until the set is done. Next up is some Romanian deadlifts, RDLs. So on this movement, I want you to think about really keeping that bar close to your legs, alright? On the way down, try to keep it close to your shins, pushing that bum out as far as you can, and you should feel the weight go back onto your heels. The weight should always be travelling backwards. If you feel as if you've been pulling forward, you're most likely too far away from your body, or you're not hinging from the hip, you're using your lower back to move the weight. So make sure you're feeling the stretch in your hamstrings, not going too low, and staying in control of the weight. You control the weight, it doesn't control you. Now that's your hamstrings and calves taken care of, we're going to move over to some leg press. Now this is notorious for your half rep Harrys. We want to get as much depth as we possibly can on this movement, so we're trying to get those knees as close as we can to our chest. We want to stretch out those quads and then push up with power. It's also really important to make sure you're holding yourself in tight on this movement. I do not want to see your lower back start to come off the pad. We don't want to see that rounding. We want to just focus on having all the tension going through our quads. Let's not injure ourselves here. Now we're going to move on to our second quad movement of the leg day, leg extensions. We want to make sure that your legs line up with the rotation of the machine. You will see on the right hand side of my knee there is a grey bolt. We want our knee to be in line with that. That's going to put us in the best position for the resistance profile of the machine. Now again, tempo is super important here. So 2 seconds on the concentric on the power up, pause at the top, and then 3 seconds on the way down. This is torture, but it's good torture and it's going to grow your legs. Once we've finished on leg extensions, we're going to head over and do some lying leg curl. Now your gym might not have this machine, but it will have a seated leg curl. If it doesn't, I'll pop it up on the screen so you know how to use that as well. So we're going to lie down, hold ourselves in position, have the pad at the bottom of our calves, and then bring our heels as close to our bum as possible. And what do we do at the top of the movement? Correct, we pause. You're getting used to this by now. Now, heading on to the final exercise of your leg day, it is adductors. This is a muscle in the inside of your thigh. If you want to have nice, big, juicy quads, I suggest you do it. Holding yourself to the seat, have the pads on the inside of your knees. There is another exercise called abduction, and that is when the pad's on the outside of your knees. So the effort should be when you're squeezing in the way. We want to try and open our legs up as far as they can possibly go. I know you might not be very flexible, but just try and go as far as you can possibly go. Squeeze in, hold for a second, and then back out. Easy peasy, leg day done. Now, let's get on to push day. Boys, we all know it, it is the best day of the week. Let's grow you a big, juicy chest. We're going to start off push day doing some lateral raises. Now, I do sit backwards on this machine, and I have the pads above my elbows, I'm just taking another joint out of my equation because I want every single bit of tension to go through that side delt. Once your elbow becomes parallel with your shoulder, you don't have to go up any higher. Just pause, squeeze, and then return back down to the bottom. Now that your shoulders warmed up, we're going to head over and do some Smith machine incline press. We're going to be doing it on the Smith to take away any stability issues. Where you setting the bench up is personal preference, but I do recommend somewhere between 45 and 60 degrees. Make sure that your shoulder blades are dug right into that bench, keeping them down, and all the movement comes from your elbow passing down past your shoulder and then pushing up and really contract the full way up. Moving on to another compound movement, we're going to be doing seated shoulder press. Now, every machine is going to be different. I do recommend using a machine, again, taking away any form issues and taking away any stability issues. Now, the exact same as the Smith press, get those elbows down underneath your shoulders. Make sure you're getting depth in this movement. We want to get strong in that stretched position. And then to finish off your chest, we're going to be doing some pec deck fly. We want your arms to be in the middle of your chest, bending on the way back and then straightening on the way forward. Make sure you're getting those arms straight. Dig that bicep into your chest and really contract as hard as you possibly can. You want to keep your chest facing forward. Do not dip your shoulders. Keep your chin back and really focus on keeping a proud chest. Try and get as much stretch as you possibly can. And you know what I'm going to say? Tempo. Slow on the way back, powerful on the way forward, and pause. Now, onto our triceps. This is a movement I've always loved. Straight bar tricep push downs. You can use a V-bar if you wish. The big cue here is keep your fucking elbows where they are. Do not move them. Keep them stuck stiff. We don't want to turn this into some kind of lat pullover slash tricep movement. It's all tricep. Keep the elbows where they are. Push down and squeeze your triceps. And then we're going to go on to some overhead tricep extensions. I would use 2 ropes if possible to get more of an extension, but exact same idea. Keep your elbow where it is. Your tricep runs between your elbow and your shoulder. If you can keep those 2 joints where they're supposed to be and extend, you're going to get a very good contraction. Your stance is completely up to you. Have it staggered or have your feet together, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And that's your chest, triceps and shoulders all smashed. Now we move on to pull day. Another 6 exercises, and we're starting off with some neutral grip pull down. Try and keep your shoulders when they are. Do not fully extend your arm, alright? Keep a very slight bend and then pull down and really try and dig those elbows into your rib cage. I do like to lean back very slightly on this movement. I feel as if I can stay a little bit more stable and I feel more powerful in this position as well. And then we're going to head over and do some seated chest supported row. Now you could do a T-bar row here as well, but again I'm just working off of machines that might be in your gym. So make sure that the chest support is far enough out that you need to really stretch to reach the handles. And that's going to let you really stretch out all those muscles in that upper back, and then when we pull back we want our elbows to come behind our shoulders again, getting a good solid contraction. And again, watch the tempo, nice and slow on the way back, and then pulling nice and hard. Once we've done our upper back movement, we're then going to go on to our second lat movement. So this is called a seated lateral row. Get a D handle. Stay very stiff, and it's the same idea as a neutral grip pull down. Not going all the way straight, trying to keep your shoulder where it is and then pulling and digging that elbow as close to your rib cage as possible. Now it's time to head over to the rear delt fly. Now, your rear delt is a very hard muscle to hit because it's so small. So what we're going to be doing here is keeping the weight a little bit lighter and really focusing on just the contraction. Don't bring your arms too far back either, because your traps are going to take over. Your traps are a much bigger muscle and it wants to take over, so make sure the contraction isn't going too far behind you. Once we've done our rear delt fly, we're going to move on to some hammer curls. Very similar to the triceps so I talked about. Keep your elbow where it is. Have your hands neutral, curl up to just above 90. You don't need to go any higher, and really squeeze when you're at the top of the movement and keep it nice and slow on the way down. Once we've done our hammer curls, we're then heading over to some single arm behind the body cable curls. And that's a mouthful. Again, Keep your elbow where it is. Make sure it is behind your body, and keep your wrist supinated, meaning your palm is always facing forward, but at the end of the movement, your palm should be facing the ceiling. Make sure you fully extend your arm on this movement. At the bottom of the movement, actually tense your triceps so you can make sure you're pulling from a fully extended arm. And then wham bam, thank you ma'am, you've got big, massive, juicy biceps. Now onto the final day of the programme, shoulders and arms, let's get in about it. We're back on the lateral raises, and it's the same machine. Now you can do dumbbell lateral raises as well, but you're a beginner. This is why we're doing the machine. We're taking away any bad form and making it easier for you. So again, same idea from last time. I'm not going to go over it again. You know what you're doing. Now we're going to switch up where we're doing our shoulder press. We're going to do it on the Smith machine this time. It's always good to try out some new movements. You might actually prefer this one. If you want to put this in your push day, you can put it into your push day. But same idea. Elbows down past shoulders, getting plenty of depth in the movement. Push up and repeat. Following the tempo, nice and easy. Moving on to another new movement. This is called a seated face pull. Putting the plate against the metal, as you'll see down the bottom here. Get your heels jammed up against it. Sit back at a slight angle and pull the rope towards your eyes. Same idea as a rear delt fly. We don't want to go too heavy. We don't want our traps to take over. We want our rear delts to be hit. So we want to make sure we're just really trying to feel the contraction. Elbows coming to just round about where your shoulders are. Squeeze the muscle and then return back to where you are. Try not to overstretch. We want to try and keep our shoulder pretty stable in this movement. Once we've done our face pulls, we're going to then move on to some tricep rope extensions. Keeping your elbow where it is. If you can use 2 ropes, fantastic. That's going to give you a little bit more of an extension on that tricep. On the way back up, bring your hands together, and on the way down, separate your hands, keeping your elbow nice and stiff by your side. Now moving on to our second tricep exercise of the day, we are going to be doing some skull crushers. Although they are called skull crushers, we don't actually want to crush our skull, alright? So you're going to get those arms behind your head. So get your arms behind your head, lock your elbows in place, and then bring your hand down towards the bench, and then pushing back up. I do like to use the easy bar here because it feels better on my wrists. You can use a straight bar if you want to use a straight bar. Try and think about pushing the bar away from you as well, pushing to the back in the room, not back over your head. That's going to help keep your elbows locked in place. Now, onto the biceps. This is a pin-loaded preacher curl machine. We want to keep our triceps placed firmly on this pad. Fully extend your arm all the way to straight and then curl back up. I like to have my head tucked on this because I find my head actually gets in the way. My head's absolutely massive. You can do whatever you want to do, but that just helps me stay really locked in place and I'm able to properly push myself on these sets. Now, onto the final exercise of the programme, incline dumbbell curls. Set the bench up to around 60 degrees. Make sure you're sitting back with your back against the bench and drop those arms back as far as they can possibly go. Keep your wrist supinated. Again, that's your palm facing forward and then facing the ceiling by the end of the movement. At the bottom of the movement, your arm should be completely straight, no bend in that elbow. By the end of the movement, you should be just above 90 degrees and really squeeze those biceps. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my 4-day beginner programme. If you decide to use this programme or even try it out, I would love to see your results. As I said at the very beginning, it's going to take time. Give it 3 months, eat your protein, be smart nutritionally, get your rest, and put in as much effort as you possibly can. You want to progress every single week, but that's all in there, it's all explained. If you do want any more information or you're struggling with anything, do me a favour, drop a comment. I would love to see your results as well. So, if you want to add me on Instagram and keep me up to date, my Instagram is here. Give it a follow, drop a subscribe, drop a comment, drop a like, and go make some fucking gains. I'll see you in the next one.